Here you go.
All right.
Top speed. Table set before me, so plus the other side can't ignore me. They just wanna join, say Lord you would change up. Maybe you should flip a coin. They got the trophy waiting for me where I'm going. Put that banner up. The skills here are so intact. I travel to the future when I step back. Hang time like the dock and you might be stacked. But to stop what we got, man, you might need Shaq. They think our confidence is arrogance, but that's just fact. Destiny yelling how we look if we don't scream back. We are cream of the crop, the top tier. That's why they beating on the drums, cause the champs in here. Yeah.
Thank you for supporting Palestine.
Up for any challenge you bring. See the results of the last group that challenged the team. Efficiency is high when you challenge the ring. Matter of fact, hold his L and clean. You deserve it. We don't just dominate, we serve it. No guesswork here, we certain. You see the wins and start flirting. We put a ring on it. Where's the curtains? Yeah.
حالكين علم فلسطين الغوالي. Thank you for supporting Palestine. Every day you put it up. You know, somebody told me every day you put this flag and you give it a salute and you take it at night and you give it a salute. Thank you. I'm a Palestinian by myself. Thank you, my friend.
Don't like it.
No, they don't like it. They don't like it. Thank you for support. Thank you. حط حزب الله أخرى. كفاية.
It's a blistering battle for the most fundamental human rights that every living soul on this planet should inherit by birthright. It's an unyielding resistance against the oppressive, suffocating grip of occupation and the callous denial of the most basic human dignity. Just as the civil rights movement in the United States fought against the chains of racial discrimination, so too do the Palestinian people strive to shatter the chains of occupation and tyranny. Never forget, my friends, that the Palestinians, much like African Americans in the United States, have been subjected to a heart-wrenching history of suffering and torment. The birth of Israel in 1948 brought forth the mass expulsion and dispossession of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their ancestral homes and land. This is a historic injustice that continues to haunt the lives of Palestinians to this very day. The situation in Palestine serves as a brutal reminder of the consequences of colonialism and the ruthless dispossession of indigenous people. It is an agonizing reminder that the fight for justice knows no borders, and we must stand united in solidarity with all oppressed peoples, whether they reside in the United States, South Africa, or anywhere around the world.
Okay, guys, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a latest episode of The Good Faith Show. I'm Andre Morton, and The Good Faith Show is exclusively on the ATP Network. You can catch the ATP Network on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter. And also, I have some shameless plugs, just a couple. On the bottom of your screen, on your ticker right there, donate to Trina. She's a comrade that, you know, she's trying to find another place to stay, and she needs a down payment for her apartment. So if you got a few dollars to spare, you know, I'm not forcing anybody to donate. You know, I think some people think I'm doing that. I'm not. I never said that. But, if you got a few dollars to spare, this is voluntary. You donate to a cash app right there. K. Bryanstein 4. And, Ty Peasant, she's a mom. She's trying to make it. Donate to a cash app too right there. Liz 4285. So, okay, guys, how everybody doing? Sorry for the noise in the background, man. This house made out of fucking paper, man. So, oh man, yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm in a good mood today. Got from the gym, did what I had to do. Going to the gym is my therapy, man. Like I tell anybody, if you can't afford a therapist, hopefully you can afford a gym membership. So, yeah, I'm doing okay. I know y'all be worried about me when I go on a tweet storm. For those who follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, my handle is @LexShowBoy24. I just say how I feel. I'm gonna say this. Nobody wants to be gaslighted. Nobody wants to be lied to. All this stuff I do is voluntary. It's not work. I mean, I'm not paying people to do this. I got, but all I want is transparency. What you gonna do? When you gonna do it? Are you able to do it? Because I know people are working. I know people are just fucking checked out of the world too. Like, just keep it real. But yeah, so yeah, I'm good, man. I'm over it. It's a new era. Hopefully, me and my cousin will start the podcast back under the willow tree soon. She's been real sick lately, so I thought she was getting better, but I talked to her on the phone the other day. She sounded really, really bad. So yeah, it's the holidays too. So I got an announcement to make. This week I will not be live streaming any shows. I'm just kind of checked out, kind of tired. I'm kind of still anxious, but it's good for me. Just take a break. But follow us on YouTube, the ATP Network on YouTube and Rumble. I will upload a whole lot of clips, so be sure to check those out. And then hopefully Tuesday, December the 31st, hopefully most of the members can show up to the New Year's extravaganza. That's what I call it, where we just talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2024. So yeah, so I'll be back on the 30th. Hopefully we do tea time at the time. Tea time then with my co-host. She's anxious and depressed too. Like, it's just like this time of year is like supposed to be a joyous year, but everybody I know, even my mutual aid moots, they be on Instagram and TikTok, they are checked out. It's like, you do what you do. You can only do so much, like, especially when you one person. Like, I'm talking about with them, it'd be so many requests from Palestinians asking for help, and some of them are anxious. They say, "Hey, why you ignoring me?" It's not that they ignoring you or I'm ignoring you. It's just that it's just so much. Like, the time, it's just so much. And if some of you got free time on your hands, like, that's voluntary too. Like y'all, please, like, promote them, like the verified links. Like, they're verified. Now, the Butterfly Project is verified. Gaza Funds is verified. Like, verify them, please. Hey, I mean, not verify them, but promote them, please. Like, thank you. So, all right, y'all. I'm finna get to the first story. All right, guys. This is the first story. This is from the Washington Post. It says, Trump eyes privatizing U.S. Postal Service because it claims that he is citing financial losses. And it says, Trump viewed it with the mail agency in his first term. Yeah, because of the election, he wanted to block voting by mail because apparently I heard that people that vote by mail are usually Democrats. And, blue states typically prioritize voting by mail. So if you take the voting machines out of the post office, sorting machines or whatever, it slows the process down. And, yeah, we know about that. Privatizing it could shake up customer shipping and business supply chains. Well, I know that Louis DeJoy, he's the Postmaster General of the post office, and And ain't he from like XPO Logistics, which is another like shipping company, I think. Yeah, like yeah, you put a guy that's over his other shipping business over the post office. Of course, the post office is going to suffer. Like, duh. I'm finna read more. It says President-elect Donald Trump has expressed a keen interest in privatizing the U.S. Postal Service in recent weeks. 3 people with knowledge of the matter said a move that could shake up consumer shipping and business supply chains and push hundreds of thousands of federal workers out of the government. So basically, isn't this part of the Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever the fucking name is? Trump has discussed his desire to overhaul the post office at his Mar-a-Lago estate with Howard Lutnick, his pick for Commerce Secretary and co-chair of his presidential transition. The People said earlier this month, Trump also convened a group of transition officials to express their views on privatizing the agency. One of the People said. Toll of the mail agency's annual financial losses, Trump said the government should not subsidize the organization. The People said. The People spoke on the condition of anonymity to reflect private conversations. Trump's specific plans for overhauling the post office were not immediately clear, but he feuded with the nation's mail carrier as president in 2019, trying to force it to hand over key functions, including rate setting, personal decisions, and labor relations, and managing relationships with its largest clients to the Treasury Department. So right here is a chart. Apparently in 2022, because look here, even during Obama's terms, 2014, 2016, it was a gaining in revenue. Well, you can say a lot of this has to do with people going digital. You know, people don't send letters anymore. Like, you know, like, yeah, like, of course you're going to lose revenue. You know, you make money off stamps, like, you know, email you sending it electronically. So Trump first term, you know, lost more revenue. In 2022, during the Biden years, it got subsidized with $56 billion. Then last 2 years, it lost revenue. So yeah, it continues. The government is slow, decades slow on adopting new ways of doing things, and there's a lot of other carrier services that became legal in the 70s that are doing things so much better with increased volumes and reduced costs, said Casey Mulligan, who served as top economist in the Trump's first Trump administration. We didn't finish the job in the first term, but we should finish it now. Yeah, the Postmaster General was, I think, CEO of XPO Logistics, so of course, you know, just throw the post office to the side and let Trump's maybe donors, which probably handle it. Jeez. The postal system is older than the nation itself. Founded in 1775 with Benjamin Franklin as its chief. Excuse me, guys. Revitalized with the free rural delivery at the start of the 20th century, then transformed into a financially self-sustaining agency in 1970, designed to bind the nation together through the mail. Even though financial challenges rose by the rise of the internet, like I said, the post office has remained one of America's most beloved federal agencies, second only to the National Park Service in a 2024 Pew Research Center study. Yeah, because National Park Service and the post office is, I guess they serve the people, like National Park, you know, you're able to preserve, you know, little of the fucking nature we have left, because, you know, because fossil fuel companies want to drill everywhere and fucking, you know, and other shit. So, but as congressional Republicans and others in Trump's orbit have clamored in recent weeks for federal cost cutting, the Postal Service has emerged as a prominent target. People who work on the Department of Government Efficiency, a non-governmental panel led by tech entrepreneurs Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, have also held preliminary conversations about major changes to the post office, said 2 other people familiar with the matter who also spoke on the condition of immunity to reflect private talks. The Postal Service had lost $9.5 billion in the fiscal year ending September 30th, stung by continued declines in mail volume and a slower than anticipated parcel shipping business, even as it made major new investments in modernized facilities and equipment. Well, Donald Trump took out the fucking swing machines, guys, like back in 2020. So, yeah, of course he's gonna take a step back. Like, yeah, the agency faces nearly $80 billion in liabilities according to its annual financial report. Cuts to the Postal Service could upend the $1 trillion e-commerce industry, hitting small businesses and rural customers whose business and budgets make the agency the shipper of choice. Amazon, the Postal Service largest customer, uses the agency for last mile delivery between its hulking product fulfillment centers and customer homes and businesses. Amazon founder owns Washington Post, and the agency's universal service obligation requires it to deliver mail or parcels regardless of distance or profitability concerns, means it often the only carrier that would deliver to far-flung reaches of the country. Yeah, so yeah. Attempts to privatize one of the most prominent parts of the federal government could spark political backlash, especially for Republicans representing rural districts that the agency disproportionately serves. Federal officials from Alaska, for example, often invite postal executives to the last frontier to see how crucial the postal service is to the state economy. Yeah, like my mama lives in a rural area. Like the post office is. Yeah, you like everybody don't live in like New York and LA and Atlanta and Miami, where, for example, Amazon got trucks that go out and deliver packages to their houses. Like, you need the post office if you live in, rural areas. So, in most rural areas are Republicans. So, yeah, I guess Dunny boy privatizing it isn't going to help things none. Responding to inquiries about privatizing the agency, a postal service spokesperson said the agency's 10-year modernization plan has led it to cut 45 million work hours in the past 3 years and reducing spending on transportation by $2 billion. The agency is also seeking regulatory approval to alter its mail processing and delivery timetables to better align with private sector practices. The spokesperson said in a statement. Then it says here, the United States Postal Service is already engaged in an initiative to ensure that we can provide our customers with a high level of service to every delivery address in the nation at least 6 days a week in an efficiency and financially sustainable fashion as required by law, the agency statement said. Trump had a long, tense relationship with the mailing agency. He once derived it from the Oval Office as a joke, and in a social media post on Amazon's delivery boy. In early days of the coronavirus pandemic, Trump threatened to withhold emergency assistance from the Postal Service unless it quadrupled package prices, and his Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin authorized a loan for the mail agency only in exchange for access to its confidential contracts with top customers. Of course. Ahead of the 2020 election, Trump said the Postal Service was incapable of filling mailing voting. Yep, this is what I was talking about earlier. Because the agency could not access the emergency funding he was blocking. The Postal Service ultimately delivered 97.9% of ballots from voters to election officials within 3 days. So yeah, y'all. More privatization, I guess. Making the Postal Service privatize will be more of a hinder than a help, because if you live in a rural area like my mom does, and basically I do too, but my city is kind of like, it's bigger than average, where like I said, like Amazon got their own trucks. Those trucks don't go into rural areas, they go into the cities and stuff, and suburbs. So yeah, I started talking about Trump because people say, you don't talk about Trump enough. Well, it's a bad idea. It's part of Elon and Vivek's plan. They want to cut government officials. Then they say they want to cut 75% of government officials, which is fucking insane. But hey, like as I tell people, result of Trump is a systematic issue. Like Ty Peasant said to herself. Like Ty Peasant is so intelligent. She is like I never even thought about it like that. See, you know, but yeah. So, would Trump do it? I wouldn't put it past him. Like, see, it's different between Trump first term and this term. Like the first term, Trump had people that kind of hold him in check. You know, I guess they must have bribed him or some shit like that. Cause you know Trump's a narcissist. But this term, Trump got people that will cuddle his ball sack. So, all right, guys, let's get to the next topic. It's about Trump too as well. All right, guys, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. Like the video. Just give it a thumbs up, guys. Just take a second if you're on YouTube and Rumble. Damn, I wish Twitter had a fucking section where it's just like YouTube and Rumble where you could like the video, comment, you know, but Elon is an idiot and he doesn't know how to run a social media platform. But hey, you can't tell these motherfuckers what to do. All right, guys, the next story is, this is from BBC. It says Trump get $15 million in ABC News defamation case. Wow. That's crazy, man. It says ABC News has agreed to pay $15 million to President-elect Donald Trump to settle a defamation case after its star anchor falsely said he was found liable for rape. Wow. George Stephanopoulos made the statements repeatedly during an interview on March 10th this year while challenging a congresswoman about her support for Trump. A jury in a civil case last year determined Trump was liable for sexual abuse, which it has a specific definition under New York law. So, we all know what Trump is. We all know what Trump did, you know, but that's crazy, like, because New York law differentiates the terms. Basically, ABC had to pay this. It says, as part of Saturday's settlement, first reported by Fox News Digital, ABC also published an editor's note expressing its regret for the statements by Stephanopoulos. And also, too, guys, before I continue to read, it's like all of these media platforms that attack Trump, you know, call him a dictator and he's, you know, bad for democracy and, you know, all that shit. Which I think is kind of hilarious in my part because, fascist. Can't forget about the fascist part. Like, fascism already here. Like, Trump didn't start fascism. But, you know, like, now they cutting into his ball sack because somebody said he's scared. So, it says, according to the settlement, ABC News will pay $15 million as a charitable contribution to a presidential foundation and museum to be established by or for plaintiff as presidents of the United States of America has established in the past. The $15 million will go towards Trump's future presidential library, U.S. media reported. The network also agreed to pay $1 million towards Trump legal fees. Under the settlement, the network will post an editor's note to the bottom of its March 10th news article about the story. It will say, ABC News and George Stephanopoulos regret statements regarding President Donald John Trump made during an interview by George Stephanopoulos with Representative Nancy Mace on NBC's This Week on March 10th, 2024. An ABC News spokesperson said in a statement, the company was pleased that the parties have reached an agreement to dismiss the lawsuit on the terms in the court filing. In 2023, a New York civil court found Trump sexually abused E. Jean Carroll in a dressing room at a department store in 1996. He is also found guilty of defaming the magazine columnist. George Lewis Kaplan said the jury conclusion was that Ms. Carroll had failed to prove that Trump raped her within the narrow technical meaning of a particular section of the New York penal law. Wow. George Kaplan noted that the definition of rape was far narrower than how rape is defined in common modern parlance and in some dictionaries and in criminal statutes as well. In a separate case, also presided over by the same judge, a jury ordered Trump to pay $83.3 million to Ms. Carroll for additional defamatory statements. Trump is appealing against both verdicts, which he might not have to pay that. Like, all of the cases against Trump is just going away. And now I heard that that woman in Georgia that I guess the voting thing, I get the appeals court disqualified her for being on the case. So maybe I'll talk about that next. During the March 10th broadcast, Stephanopoulos asked for South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace how she could endorse Trump. The anchor falsely said judges and 2 separate juries have found him liable for rape. And if he said found him liable for sexual assault, then ABC News will not have to pay that. Wow, that's crazy. Crazy what words could do. Stephanopoulos repeated the claim 10 times throughout the broadcast. Ahead of the ruling, a federal magistrate judge had ordered Trump and Stephanopoulos to give sworn evidence and depositions next week. Trump had also sued CBS's, the BBC's U.S. broadcast partner, for deceptive conduct over the interview with Kamala Harris. In 2023, a judge threw out his defamation lawsuit against CNN, which he alleged the network had likened him to Adolf Hitler. He also had lawsuits against the New York Times and Washington Post dismissed. So, wow, guys, man, wow, that's crazy. Like, these motherfuckers are scared of Trump. these corporate media entities, man, they just been in their need of Trump. Goddamn Joe Scarborough, Mika, going to Mar-a-Lago saying, "Oh, please, Mr. Trump, please take us back, please, please. Like, we didn't mean calling you a fascist, Mr. Trump. You such a great president, Mr. Trump. I want to go to Mar-a-Lago and golf and eat hors d'oeuvres and color your nutsack." Oh God, man. All I can say is this. You gotta be careful what you say. If George Stephanopoulos said sexual assault, then they wouldn't have to pay that $15 million. But they could have fought it out. But you gotta watch what you say these days. Boy. Okay, guys, on to the next story. All right, guys, I said I was going to talk about this. Why not? This is from Fox News. It says, Georgia appeals court disqualifies DA Fani Willis and her team from Trump election interference case. Then it says Georgia court rules Willis and her office have no authority to proceed. So basically what they're saying is it's over. Like, the case will be dropped. Fani Willis, you out. And they're going to appoint somebody else that's going to just get rid of it, just drop the charges. Here's a video right here, guys. So I'm gonna play it and pause in between.
Fulton County, Georgia, and here we go. A Georgia Court of Appeals has disqualified the Fulton County DA Fani Willis from that election interference case. It's coming down right now. The case against Trump and more than a dozen others already largely stalled, as you know. The new ruling means that it will be up to the prosecuting attorney's council in the state of Georgia to find another prosecutor to decide on the case, to take it over.
So basically, I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna play it again. So basically, they're gonna find somebody that's just gonna dismiss the shit for Trump. Basically, that's all that means, man. That's just speaking in clear English for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, all right.
And make a decision as to whether or not they continue with the prosecution of the incoming president.
And former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo is here. John, does this mean that this is yet another one of the cases against Trump that could go away before he's president?
It's another example, Dana, of this lawfare campaign that was waged by Democrats, boomeranging back on them and falling all around their ears. Anyone who watched this trial, remember, this is the DA who claimed that the entire Trump reelection campaign was something like an organized crime racket that was intending to deprive everyone of our civil rights to vote. But remember,
now I'm gonna say this: was all this shit politically motivated? Hell yeah. My thing is, like, same with the New York trials and shit. Like, why y'all now getting Trump now during an election season when you could have got the motherfucker back, you know, shit, when he uh when he left the White House back in 2021. See what I'm saying? So yeah, it is politically motivated. Like anybody with a brain could know that, but yeah. And I remember about Fani Willis. I guess they accused her of messing around with one of her partners, whoever that guy was that worked in the attorney's office or some shit. Like, wow, it's like two adults can't, you know, adults are adults. Like, but okay.
We saw the dramatic testimony over the summer of how DA Fani Willis had hired her boyfriend, essentially, to be the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
special counsel, overpaid him, and then had him investigate and bring charges against Donald Trump. It's a complete conflict of interest. And if you take a quick look at the Georgia Appeals Court decision here, that's what it says. There's such an appearance of impropriety, an appearance of a conflict of interest that Fani Willis should not be the prosecutor. I think this spells yet another case that's going to have to either be suspended or more likely just ended and tossed out. It's hard for me to see another Georgia district attorney wanting to take up this flawed case and try to prosecute Trump on these theories that his reelection campaign was some kind of criminal organized crime enterprise.
John, a couple of things here. There are 14 others that face charges. I don't know what happens to them, but she can appeal to the state Supreme Court in Georgia. But given what the Supreme Court said in Washington about immunity, I mean, does the state Supreme Court even take her case in Georgia?
It's a good question, Bill. I think what's going to happen here, along the lines of possible appeals and so on.
I think Fani Willis is going. She said, "Yeah, I'm out. I'm done." She ain't going. Yeah, like yeah. Basically, the Supreme Court said, "Hey, the president can be a fucking basically a damn dictator, so he can do whatever the fuck he want and get away with it." So I mean, like, so yeah. And how long would that take? I know they're gonna take years. So yeah, like everybody is just bending their head down to Trump like that, man. Like, oh, Mr. President, I'm feeling so wrong about you. Oh God, but yeah.
It looks likely because of that presidential immunity decision by the Supreme Court that any kind of state prosecution of President Trump would have to be at least suspended, if not dropped. You're seeing that going on, those arguments going on right now up in New York City with the case being heard by Judge Merchan. So even if they could get past immunity, they'd still have to suspend it while President Trump was in office. But furthermore, you'd have to go back and then scrub the whole indictment, scrub everything the grand jury did, and say you've got to eliminate anything that used official actions by President Trump, any evidence that came in from White House officials, from anything the president was doing in the Oval Office. They might actually fatally handicap this prosecution and require the whole thing to be dismissed.
It's interesting, too, because she had this novel way.
I mean, it will be dismissed. Duh, like all of Trump's cases gonna be dismissed. If one of them still in the balance, hey, I'm shocked. But like again, the Supreme Court say president have immunity, so that's why all of them basically just retracted the cases. Like Jack Smith, I heard that the motherfucker is basically gone. He MIA. Like he said, I'm out of here. So yeah.
Of trying to get at him through RICO. Was that a mistake as well? In addition to her personal behavior, obviously, is what they're saying here. But in a way, it was this like novel idea of like, how can I be the one to take Trump down? That's for like politically, she wanted that reputation.
Yeah. Dana, you and I remember we're Justice Department alums. Yeah, I remember you when you were there and I was there and we were there after the days of 9/11. And you can use this kind of statute, RICO, to try to go after real organized crime, drug cartels, mafia organizations. DA Fani Willis.
I mean, basically in the 80s, Trump was basically like a mafia boss in the 80s. So, yeah. But in this case, the reason why I guess Georgia they put the RICO charges up for grabs is because it was an organized plot to overthrow the election, I guess. Yeah. The fake elector scheme, I guess that's why they use RICO. Yeah, but okay.
Introduced, I think, a really dangerous theory was that we could use these powerful tools that are used for terrorists and drug cartels and apply them to political campaigns, and not just any political campaign, but the campaign by the leading opposition candidate at that time, Donald Trump, the head of one of the two major parties in the country. I think ultimately the whole thing would have been tossed out because it violated the free speech rights of Donald Trump, the free speech rights of the Republican Party, and actually a lot of Americans who supported him. So I think in the end, this whole thing was going to come crashing down around Fani Willis's and the Democratic Party's ears. Anyway.
Well, it seemed complicated from the beginning. There is that case here in New York that's still out there, the 34 counts in Judge Merchan's courtroom. He made a ruling about a week ago that the conviction still stands, but the penalty will be judged at a later date. John, do you think that later date ever happens now?
No. Hell no. Yeah, I love to see the motherfucker has immunity and you gonna say, which is not right. Like, you know, everybody should be held accountable. Like, my ass get held accountable. So why should this guy or anybody, Biden, Trump, whoever the fuck president, why should they do whatever the fuck they want? I can't do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, but yeah, I love to see that. I love to see they censor Trump, man. I don't see it, but hey, if they do, shit.
I think this is Judge Merchan really still trying to go after Donald Trump. Think about it. If you look, Bill, you mentioned the presidential immunity case. There's a footnote, a really important footnote in that opinion that says states, even if they're prosecuting a president for private acts, can't use evidence from the presidency. They can't use what Donald Trump said in the Oval Office. They can't use what White House officials said. Nevertheless, Judge Merchan went ahead and held a trial and introduced that kind of evidence. He should, at the very least, order a new trial, if not force the DA to go back to it. But what Merchan is doing, which I think is still dangerous, is he's dangling these charges still, the sentencing, over the head of Donald Trump and saying, well, I can't sentence you now. Maybe I won't. He still he could try to get in before the inauguration, but he shouldn't. But he's going to say, I'm going to dangle that over your head for the next 4 years, and I'm going to be waiting for you when your presidency is over.
Well, you have to think he's doing the work of Alvin Bragg, right, Dana? At the moment. I mean, he works for the DA, right, John?
I don't know.
I won't say he's doing. I'm sure Bragg loves this idea because Bragg is trying to make his career out of harassing President Trump, and this is a terrible thing for not just Donald Trump, for all Americans because of the presidency. You don't want presidents to have to try to make the toughest decisions on behalf of the country and have to worry what's going to happen to me when I come out of office. This is two-bit judge, and this DA is going to be able to have
clear decision making.
And like he said, tough decisions. Trump called on the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, and said, I need find the votes. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but something like that. So, yeah, like, again, I'm gonna end it there, but, was this shit, political influence? Hell yeah. Duh. Like, of course the Democrats, well, until now they're kissing Trump's nutsack, but yeah, they wanted to take Trump down. Like, but yeah, that got averted. It says, gotta have all these pop-ups on these websites, man. Shit. Let me make it bigger again for y'all. I know y'all probably can't see that good. Let me see. It's kind of hard when you're using a cell phone screen, so let me see. Okay, right there. Georgia Court of Appeals disqualified Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her team from prosecuting President-elect Donald Trump in his election interference case on Thursday. The court did not toss Trump's indictment entirely, but Willis and the assistant DAs working in her office now have no authority to proceed. Hell, they might as well throw it out. Like, there's nothing. Like, Trump is president now. Like, he has immunity. Like, there's nothing they can do. After carefully considering the trial's court findings in its order, we conclude that it erred by failing to disqualify DA Willis and her office, the filing states, the remedy crafted by the trial court to prevent an ongoing appearance of impropriety did nothing to address the appearance of impropriety that existed at times when DA Willis was exercising her broad parental discretion about who to prosecute and what charges to bring. It says, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, shit. It went back up to the top. Hold on. Okay. It said the court said while it recognizes that an appearance of improperty generally is not enough to support disqualification, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated.
And here we go. A Georgia court of...
Hold on, guys. There you go. It's not enough to support disqualification. In this case, this is a rare case in which the disqualification is mandated and no other remedy was suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings. It says, accordingly, we reversed the trial court's denial of appellant's motion to disqualify DA Willis and her office, the filing states, as we conclude that the elected district attorney is wholly disqualified from this case. The assistant district attorneys whose power to prosecute a case is derived from the constitutional authority of the district attorney who appointed them and have no authority to proceed, the filing states. So, yeah, I'm going to end it there. So I end it right there because I saw the video that former DA, Attorney General, said the same thing I said. So yeah, man, I ain't surprised. Hell, all of these fucking cases against Trump gonna be gone, man. It's over, bro. People still saying that, oh, they gonna get Trump on something. yeah. I love to see that. When the Supreme Court says you have fucking immunity, so yeah. Oh God. So on to the next story, y'all. So yeah, y'all, this is the last story. This is Benjamin Dixon making a plea on why people should leave TYT. I guess TYT already had a big subscriber exodus, and now Benjamin Dixon used to be on TYT. He ain't on there no more. I think he used to get paid by them too. Yeah, everybody left because they said TYT is supposedly moving to the right, appealing to the right wing, which, a big platform like that in today's political climate where everybody is a clout chaser to a certain extent, like everybody, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, fucking hell, what up, or Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, whatever the fuck, wherever the soup is hot, more people will fling to that side. TYT, when the Bernie movement started, they was all 10 toes down on that, man. The anti-Trump stuff when Trump won, the loser Donald segments. I remember all that shit. I used to watch TYT. And then, 2020 told people to vote for Biden. We're gonna push him off, and then I didn't vote for Biden, but some people probably did, and wholly knows and did, and then now Trump won, and so yeah, I'm gonna quit talking and play the video and pause in between. I think this shit's corny to me. I think, okay, I'm a hypocrite. I'm talking about it. But again, Benjamin Dixon has way more of a following than my little petty channel or network has. So, but hey, here we go.
Happy with me, and everyone will hear exactly what they want to hear. Criminals are great. I love criminals. We should let all of them out of prison, and we should, allow them to terrorize working class people when they're trying to get to work. And that's actually going to make everybody's lives better. So
yeah, and let me
if that's going to make everyone happy, then fine. Okay, I give up. Okay, criminals are great unless they're white. If they're white, we should put them in prison for the rest of their lives.
Oh my God, if they're right wing, life sentence. Okay, anyways, so I know, how dare we be principled? We should be unfair to the right. I know. We should be unfair to fellow Americans. I know. So
lawmakers, this is a small group of activists who like to bully, who like to go to city council meetings, who like to go to various rallies and essentially be loud, be threatening, be aggressive until they get their way. And for far too long, the Democratic Party has been terrified of these little mobs of people, these little mobs of activists, and have basically just carried out what these activists want. And I just think that they need to be a little smarter.
What activists she talking about though? Was she talking about the ones like? Wait a minute, the Ukraine. I remember when the United States perpetrated the Russia war. She talking about that. Like she could be talking a lot of stuff. Palestine, like, you know. Oh God.
Than falling prey to the whims of various activist groups because they're not representative of the majority of Americans. In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, you know, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just that they care about that issue, it's that they've taken that issue and they've made it part of their identity, the core of who they are. And it's almost like what you would expect from religious zealots, you know, and so there's a fundamentalism involved in the way that they treat these issues. And to be honest, I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at, because
you know, it's a difference between what she's saying and I'm saying. She's talking about the leftists that smeared her for saying don't call her a birthing person and all that shit. On that account, when I said the left, I mean like the left that just people that so-called left that just like to start, it's just like to do purity tests. Like the left is not an echo chamber. Like my reasoning is more justified than hers. Like so yeah.
Because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are, as if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are.
Well, Anna, I have worked with TYT, and to be certain, I worked with you for such a brief period of time that you all can't take any credit for my success or whatever measure of success that I may have. I think you all could check your books. I think I made maybe $3,000 off of you throughout the entire time that we knew each other. I want to talk to you, the audience, and I want to share with you why I would put such a video together. And honestly, this is just the beginning of the video. That was 2 minutes of Jank and Anna making the case for why my good brother, Mayor Mondale Robinson, quit live on air on this channel, left TYT. I left TYT many years ago for reasons that had nothing to do with their politics, because their politics at the time were spot on. Back around 2020, absolutely, that was the place to be. And I was happy to be there with the exception of some contractual.
Well, 2020, when TYT basically caved to Biden, no, that was not a place to be. Like, TYT in 2015, 2016, that was the place to be. But, hey, Democrats, they want healthcare, guys.
Issues that are neither here nor there, right? But I was a fan of TYT. And quite honestly, I still absolutely am a fan and a brother and a comrade and a colleague of Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Solidarity, my brother. John Iadarola. I can't wait till we get a chance to review some movies when things settle down and we don't have fascism knocking at the door. JR, absolutely loved working with him. I've been a fan of JR since like
Yeah, I like JR too. John, he all right. Yeah, I don't have no problem with those guys. I used to listen to them more than listen to Jack Allen, to be honest with you. But hey, let them continue.
2008, when I first discovered TYT. Their producer, Brett, absolutely loved that brother. So many people over there that I have great respect and admiration for. So you might ask, why would I put this type of video together? Because I know a lot of people have not been able to pay as much attention to the details as we have. For the past 2 years in particular, I have personally observed the rightward shift away from the very principles and policies that made me admire the stance that they were taking.
Hey, you could say TYT had a right with shift when they took that Jeff and Katzenberg cash, Ben. Pastor Ben. Because somebody that worked for TYT said allegedly that when they got that money, they was told to move more to the center. So, yeah, the last 2 years, yeah, got the Katzenberg cash win 2018, 17, 18, I forgot. But, yeah, it started way before 2 years ago, bro.
At TYT at the time, I've seen a shift, not in the entire company, but in the two leaders, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, as you've seen in just the first few minutes of this video. And I have so many more examples to give you. I ask that you buckle up and give me your attention for as long as you can give it. If you need to come back and watch the rest of it, please do that, because I am going to make a case, and the case deserves and requires receipts. And this is what I'm going to tell you. Based on everything that I have seen, based on everything that I have observed, based on just the few receipts that I have in this video, I can confidently say without any hesitation, any reservation, and without any guilt that yes, you should leave TYT. You should unsubscribe from their channel. If you are a member...
I'm late. You're late, Brand. I stopped watching TYT back in 2020, bro. Like, yeah. But I thank God I discovered RBN in 2021. Like, Savvy Sabs. Like, you know, I stopped watching Kyle Kalinske too. I still watch him every now and then just see what the fuck he talking about. Because Kyle Kalinske is like the most, out of all of the, you know, PMC left, he kind of like the most calculated one, you know. You know, he tried to play both sides, you know, that book, you know. Try to be a far leftist, but, you know, Joe Biden is better than Trump, you know. But, yeah, you should stop watching TYT, because TYT on the Majority Report, David Pakman, Brian Tyler Cohen, all these other bread tube motherfuckers that's making lots of money off this shit. Like, most of them are grifters. I hate to say that. I don't really think this guy's a grifter, but I don't know him like that. Like, I used to listen to his podcast like over a year, 2019, and then in 2020 he did the vote Biden, push him left thing, and I was like, I don't want to hear that shit no more. Yeah, you need to unsubscribe for all of these fucking bread tubes, man. You need to watch the RBNs, the due distances, the fucking Harlan's Medias. Like, those are the fucking channels you need to be listening to, because they're not bullshitting you. See, TYT, all these other ones just gaslighting motherfuckers. That's what's going on. And that's why they lost 20,000 subscribers. And that's why David Pakman lost 10,000 subscribers. And other bread tubers too, so.
You should cancel your membership. Why? Because we are absolutely at a time in American history where we do not need people who ostensibly represent the left, people who ostensibly represent progressivism, and certainly don't need people who speak on behalf of black issues only to start wavering at this point in history, when we know without a shadow of a doubt who Donald Trump is, what MAGA is, what fascism is, and where we are on the scale of fascism, where we are in the progression towards a full total.
Nah, this is why I have to separate from Pastor Ben. Like, I know you're not gonna watch me because I'm irrelevant. I know that, but maybe you might come across me in the future, you know. But fascism already here, Pastor. So it's been here, bro. The cop cities, that's fascism. You know, look what they doing. Look what they did to Breonna Boston. All because she said delay, deny, depose. You guys are next. Now, I don't agree with her saying that to those phone reps, because they just doing their jobs, I guess. She's basically airing that out to the CEOs, obviously. Like, I know what she's doing, but that's not violent speech, and they got her on house arrest, and she can only go out once a week and all that shit. Like that shit's here, bro. Like, I've been hearing you saying that shit for like a while now. Like Donald Trump did not start fascism. Like, you late, bro. Like, I know you college educated, you talk articulated well, like, you know, you're a professional podcaster. Like, that's what people like in podcasting. They like that. I'm not professional, I'm not organized, and I know what the fuck going on in the world. Like, you can't say fascism not here and they building cop cities all over this fucking country. And this is why me and Tyra Pearson been saying, like, we gonna become Gaza, bro. Like, they gonna have us in concentration camp, bro. Open air prison, bro. I won't say open air, but prison, like, yeah. Like, hey, we gonna become Gaza before it all said and done. Like, shit's gonna hit the fan. With Trump in there or not. So, I continue. I let him continue. I had to say that.
Totalitarian state that is at the service of MAGA and Donald Trump. What we must have right now.
I hate to pause it again. The result of Trump is a systematic issue. People probably became MAGA, not the extreme MAGA. I ain't talking about them fucking lunatics. They're just lunatics. If you're extreme, see the difference between a person that votes for Trump and then the people that just cuddle Trump's ball sack and praise him like he's God, a God king or some shit. People vote on their pocketbooks, and Joe Biden did not make the pocketbooks bigger or make it, you know, sustainable. So yeah, we'll try to fascist, or Benjamin Dixon called him fascist. We'll try to fascist out again. So yeah, a lot of people in America just want to fucking survive, bro. Like, you know, if we really like just talk to people, that's why I say us as, you know, the real left. That's why we need to go out and talk to people on the ground. Like, you know, yeah, we talk to each other online, but we agree with each other all the time. Like, you know, like, nothing ain't gonna move. You know, you gotta go out there and throw out opinions to people. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I hate to pause it like that, but yeah.
Are media institutions that have no fear and no reservation calling out and standing up against MAGA instead of equivocating, and instead of trying to convince themselves and others that maybe MAGA really isn't as bad as they literally say they are, as what they have outlined in Project 2025, as what they have stated they wanted to do to every marginalized group in this country. So where do we begin? I want to begin with why it is so problematic that Anna Kasparian took a story that we on the left, we in progressive circles, as a matter of fact, mainstream media, even mainstream media did their due diligence to understand that the story of the Venezuelan gangs that had allegedly taken over an apartment complex in Aurora.
But didn't that, like that, okay, I got to but didn't that, the reason why all that shit happened transpires because the apartment complex was basically not maintained properly and people were fed up. Like, yeah. But I see what he talking about, though. I'm continuing.
Colorado was not what right-wing media was saying it was. And here's the problem. It wasn't just right-wing media. It wasn't just MAGA that was pushing this narrative. It was Anna Kasparian on the platform of TYT, building up the fear and the xenophobia that was a fundamental cornerstone of Donald Trump's victory in 2024. Here is the misrepresentation of the truth by Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks.
Some video footage that shows armed men confronting a driver in the parking lot of the apartment complex. Let's put that up. So if you look closely at the kind of upper right-hand side, you see a car parked and you see individuals approaching that vehicle armed with guns. Luckily, in this case, the footage doesn't show anyone getting hurt or getting shot. But apparently this particular apartment complex, according to some of the residents and former residents, has been riddled with all sorts of gang violence over the last year. But this incident has sparked a big debate and I believe some gaslighting about whether or not there is a problem with Venezuelan migrant gangs basically taking over apartment buildings or causing.
Wow. By the way she talked, yeah, you sound like damn. Like, oh wow, I live in a a sub. You know, I live in an apartment complex. Oh God. Oh God, a Venezuelan gang coming to Louisiana. Oh God, they're gonna take over my apartment complex. Oh shit, I should be frightened. Like, yeah, I kind of can see that. You know, there's a lot of ways you can dissect the way her rhetoric, but yeah, like you think that Fox News, bro? Oh.
Violent crimes at these apartment buildings, and the local government can't seem to keep its facts straight or its story straight. After that, it appeared that the state and local leaders kind of went into panic mode because they started to claim that there's no problem at all. What do you mean? This is a figment of your imagination. In fact, the governor, Jared Polis, claims that the allegations are a figment of your imagination. And Aurora's interim police chief said that the gangs had not taken over one of the complexes. Now, you, depending on what you're hearing different things. And whether or not this is a widespread problem in Aurora, Colorado, remains to be seen. Let's be clear about that. But the issue of this Venezuelan gang carrying out violent acts and crimes in the area, there seems to be a lot of evidence of that, while the Democratic lawmakers and leaders in the state and local level want to pretend like it's not happening at all.
Well, you think the officials will know about the gangs, Anna. Again, like, he finna explain the real side of it. Yeah, I remember this story.
I need you to check the framing before I even get to the evidence, because I want to show you evidence that proves that the entire narrative of the Venezuelan gangs that ostensibly took over an apartment complex was manufactured by a public relations firm that was hired by the slumlord landowner, that was hired by the slumlord landlord. If look at the screen, this is the condition of the neighborhood, of the apartment complex that.
Yeah, they were complaining about the way the apartment complex looked. Like, I go home and my place look like that, bro. Yeah, I'll make a big ass stink out of it. I'm paying fucking rent. You know, rent is astronomically. Oh, I can't talk. I sound slow as hell. Lord have mercy. It's very high, especially in Colorado. Like, but yeah, I'll make a fuss out of it.
Instead of addressing the slumlord hired a public relations firm to stir up anti-immigration sentiment and fear and xenophobia all over the country. And this was a story that you would hear from Fox News, Newsmax, OANN, all of the right-wing echo chamber. They were forwarding this narrative. And what was the truth of the matter? The truth of the matter was there was no gang that took over the apartment complex. It was a spin. It was a spin in order to protect a landlord who didn't want to take care of his property. But I want you to catch the framing of what she said. She framed, listen again. I got to play it. Listen again at how she framed it at the very end.
Venezuelan gang carrying out violent acts and crimes in the area. There seems to be a lot of.
See, this is why you got to do your own research. Like, Anna, TYT, I know they got people that do research for them. Make sure they get the facts right. Now, you know, you could get in trouble for that shit. Like, that's defamation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like my little ass network, I can make sure the information I get, I make sure it's verified and legit. Like, I don't want to get off topic, but like same with the GoFundMe's for the Palestinians, like people are skeptical. You know, it could be a scam, could be this. You know, I have to make sure this shit verified before I post it on it. Rightfully so. You know, it ain't no wrong with questioning things, but so yeah, you gotta do your own research.
Of evidence of that, while the Democratic lawmakers and leaders in the state and local level want to pretend like it's not happening at all.
The Democratic. Listen, if you've been a part of my channel for any amount of time, you know that I carry.
So the Democratic officials in the area were right, and you know, but she was wrong. Like, I don't like Democrats, but obviously, but they said that, they would know, right? Gangs like Colorado, Venezuela. I know that's a long stretch from Venezuela to Colorado, unless they must have flew over. I don't know why we building a fucking border wall. Like people fly over to the United States. The wall can't stop a plane. You can't make a wall 30,000 feet in the fucking air. But okay, but yeah, like yeah, that's the type of fear mongering that Fox News does. Like like making you think, oh God, if it was a gang, immigrants gonna come and just take over shit. Oh God, oh man, I go outside, ain't nothing happening. It's a damn cool day outside today, and people minding their own fucking business. Like, I'm not a fear for my life like that. Okay, why would they come to Monroe, Louisiana? Like, just a random place off Interstate 20. Like, people ain't know what the fuck it was if it wasn't for the major interstate. So, okay. Yeah, that's
one of the greatest and the most significant critiques of the Democratic Party as we know it today. I have no friends in the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party owes me no favors, and I owe them nothing. But to have the largest progressive media outlet doing the literal work of right-wing conservatism, of xenophobia, of bigotry, and spreading misinformation and then framing it as a problem of the...
I wouldn't call TYT progressive. No, they ain't progressive, bro. Nah.
The Democratic Party, when in reality it is a problem of a greedy landlord who was sophisticated enough to hire a public relations firm that can do the evil machinations of spinning a story that was the problem of the slumlord into being a problem of a Venezuelan gang. And Anna Kasparian did her part in spreading that narrative through progressive circles. And that xenophobia, that's exactly not just hers, but all of it combined. All of the millions of people who were scared by that same story is exactly why Donald Trump and Stephen Miller are preparing to deport not only brown immigrants, but to deport black immigrants, aided and abetted by TYT. Yes, you should cancel your membership. Yes, you should unsubscribe. Yes, you should walk away from TYT until they get their act together. Let's keep going. The next problem that I have is exactly what Mayor Mondale Robinson said on this channel a few nights ago. He said that when you go out of your way to try to convince everyone to give MAGA the benefit of the doubt, they're not really as bad as they say they are. They're not really as bad as their policies dictate that they're going to be. In actuality, if you get to know them one-on-one, some of them are really nice people. The insidiousness of that technique suggests that you should accept MAGA based on individual personality and ignore the...
No. My thing is, with that is, if you want to talk to the right, you don't kiss their ass. You agree to disagree. Or I will say this. Hopefully, they'll come on your side. Maybe, like for example, with our taxpayer dollars going to Ukraine and Israel. Like, maybe say, you complain, conservatives always say that we should not, we should cut this, cut Social Security and Medicare, but they're not cutting the funds for fucking war. Some of them probably do agree with that, but yeah, like, if you, like, yeah, like, that's what you do. I could say I agree with Tucker Carlson on Julian Assange. Like, he said Julian Assange should be free. He free. I'm glad about that. But I can say I disagree with Tucker Carlson when he called immigrants dirty and whatever the fuck he said. Like, he's a piece of shit for that. But my grandma always say the truth could come out of a hellish mouth. So
collective
and ignore the collective intention of harm that this group, MAGA, Donald Trump, Make America Great Again, what they intend on doing, not only to immigrants, not only to migrants, not only to asylum seekers, but to black people, to women, to the LGBTQIA community, to the entirety of democracy.
I could say, I could say the same thing about Democrats, Pastor Ben. Like, I mean, have Democrats protected LGBTQ rights? Have Democrats passed legislation mainly for black people? Reparations? Like, same thing. Like, that's crazy. Like, he talking about the right being anti, anti people, but the fucking Democrats are the fucking same. So, see what I'm saying? Like, see how that's why we call them the duopoly. Because they two heads of a snake, man. There's two heads on it.
You want us to sit back, Anna Kasparian, and because your neighbor, who was a Donald Trump supporter, was nice to you, that's the anecdote by which we should reevaluate our entire assessment of who and what MAGA says they are? The absurdity of it all. Listen in.
And so I'm like trying to get his bicycle like up the stairs, and all of a sudden this man stops me. His name's Jeff. And he's like, hey, let me help you out with that. And he starts helping me out. He stopped everything he was doing to help me out. And then Jeff and I became very close. One of my neighbors who I really like, he was my favorite person in the entire building. And years go by. One day we're in an HOA meeting, homeowners association, and one of the people living in the building said something about Trump that was negative. I don't remember what it is. And Jeff whispers in my ear, oh, she's going to start trashing Trump. I'm out of here. And it hit me that he's a Trump supporter. We had never talked about politics before. And I'm like, so I got to know Jeff before I knew what his politics were. Incredibly kind guy. He helps everyone in this building with anything they might need.
Well, with this, I can say, like, it's good, Like, I got my old lady friend that lives in Shreveport. She voted for Trump, and she's one of the nicest people I ever met. Like, we don't even talk about politics. Only reason why it got brought up for some reason, I guess she saw some on the news or something. She said she didn't like Kamala, but she don't vote. She don't like Trump, but she'll vote for him. So obviously she's a conservative. But I'm friends with conservatives. That don't make you a bad person. Like, she's not going to change my opinion on, breaking from the duopoly and my Marxist-Leninist, philosophy. Not philosophy, but you know what I'm saying. I'm a communist. So, yeah. I really don't have no problem with this clip. But I'm going to continue to play it, though. Maybe I should have played the whole thing before I start commentating on it.
And so that woke me up to, wait a minute. Not all Trump supporters are like dangerous, evil individuals. And
Duh. Even back in 2016, I said that shit to myself. I didn't have no Twitter. Well, I wasn't political on Twitter, and I didn't have no user-generated platform. Even I said that. I said, not all Trump supporters are evil and racist. Like, some of them cool, Yeah, as always, people that are radical, like, liberals can be racist and xenophobic too. But okay.
And yes, it was stupid that I thought that to begin with. Like, I'm embarrassed admitting that, but it's just how I believed. And that kind of was one of the moments where it's like a light bulb went off and something was telling me, you need to scratch beneath the surface a little more because you don't have a realistic view of what's going on here.
One anecdote, and Anna is ready to completely dismiss her entire framing of the world. Now, that's her personal prerogative. If that's what makes her change her mind about everything that she has ever said, that's her business. But for those of us who don't use politics for a career or commentary as a career, but we do this because it is our passion, and we do this because it is a matter of life and death for many of us. We do this because the issues matter to us. We have already measured our decisions. We've already weighed these things in the balance. We know what it means. When I say, I know exactly what it means when I say what I say about MAGA and what they represent and what they intend on doing. And so even if this anecdote is 100% absolutely true, it really goes to show you the lack of depth that is involved in the core leadership. The captain and the co-captain. The co-captain has not even thought her politics through enough to be able to survive one friendly encounter with someone from MAGA. And while I was at TYT, I absolutely...
Yeah, I disagree with him on that, man. Look, there's nothing wrong with people. Yeah, a lot of people thinks that Trump supporters are racist and sexist and bigoted, but a lot of these people are just regular Americans. They just decide to vote Trump for their own reasons. Even though I disagree with why they vote for Trump, they shouldn't have voted for Trump nor Harris. But yeah, I disagree with that. But I let them continue.
Absolutely did love the way that they spoke about racial issues. I won't front on that. I can't pretend on that. They absolutely, when they were on air, when I was there and when I was on air, they seemed to have all of the right talking points as it pertains to justice. But I want to play this clip again that I played at the very beginning because I didn't say anything about it at the very beginning, but I want you to listen to what Anna Kasparian says here.
Happy with me and everyone will hear exactly what they want to hear. Criminals are great. I love criminals. We should let all of them out of prison, and we should, allow them to terrorize working class people when they're trying to get to work. And that's actually going to make everybody's lives better. So
yeah, and let me do the other half.
If that's going to make everyone happy, then fine. Okay, I give up. I give up. Okay, criminals are great unless they're white. If they're white, we should put them in prison for the rest of their lives.
Oh my God, if they're right wing, life sentence. Okay, anyways, so I know, how dare we be principled? We should be unfair to the right. I know. We should be unfair to fellow Americans. I know. So
yes, because as we all know, Anna Kasparian, the real problem in the United States of America is the fact that people have not been fair to white criminals or to white people. And not to mention right wingers, because America has been cruel to right wingers. And the biggest problem is that we just don't show compassion enough. We don't show patience enough. We are not kind enough. We're not thoughtful enough to really consider the plight of white people, Anna Kasparian, are we? Or right wingers. Those are the groups who have a problem in the United States of America. And another thing, the last thing that
with that, I think she's kind of smearing the people that are that say that, hey, maybe this person, he's black or, or brown, maybe they wrongfully criminalized, and I think that's like a smear what TYT was doing. It's a lot of black and brown people that are in prison over nothing right now. So I'll play a little bit more of this and I'm done. I want to play the whole thing.
We need in progressive spaces are individuals who take not only their name and their reputation that they built off of your dollars, off of your subscriptions, off of your memberships, and take that to right-wing media. And in order to make nice with them, in order to cozy up with them, they get on there and they trash the left. They trash progressivism. They trash Democrats, which I don't care too much about. But what Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur...
Well, at least he differentiate the left and Democrats. Wow, that's rare these days.
...are trying to do is they're trying to present themselves as the reasonable people. The reasonable people who can be okay with anti-immigration rhetoric. The reasonable people who in a moment of exasperation can be okay with the white grievance complex and with the idea that right-wingers are oppressed in this country. The last thing we need are people who are going to go into the spaces of our rivals. You might not want to call them enemies, but they view us as enemies. You might not want to consider them rivals, but they view us as rivals. And we simply cannot have the law.
I could go a step further. I could say not only they are rivals, they also aren't independent media. Like, my thing with independent media is if you get sponsorships, you're not independent. Independent means you take money from Patreon or Super Chats, even neutral YouTube ads. Like, you're not negotiating with those advertisers on those videos. So that's fine. But once you sign a contract with an advertiser, with a sponsor, you're not independent no more. So yeah, these people are not independent. But okay, I continue.
largest progressive media platform in the country be one that is more interested in making nice with people like Glenn Beck and Pierce Morgan than they are with the left, than they are with progressives, than they are with the very people that Anna Kasparian is talking bad about in this.
But then Anna said that she's not on the left anymore. So why would she go on left independent left based shows then? Like, yeah, that's a good question. Maybe Jank go on there, but Anna said she's unaligned now. She's aligned now, underlined and all that shit. So
clip.
This is a small but incredibly loud and influential faction of the Democratic Party. This is not indicative of all Democrats. This is not indicative of all Democratic lawmakers. This is a small group of activists who like to bully, who like to go to city council meetings, who like to go to various rallies.
Oh no, don't go to a city council meeting. I have to pause. She's not done yet. But how ridiculous is that statement, especially when we have just come through 4 years of Republicans, MAGA, QAnoners, flooding and disrupting school board proceedings, city council meetings. And why did they do it? During COVID, they did it because they didn't want to wear a mask. Why do they do it? They do it now because they don't want any school to teach critical race theory. But Anna wants to use the fact that maybe she's seen a handful of leftists go to these meetings. The fact of the matter is that we need somebody who is going to aggressively organize to make sure.
Those city council meetings Anna Kasparian talking about, I don't see Democrats going, the liberals going there. I see leftists or people that just maybe anti-war or, yeah, so, yeah. Oh, God, man, this shit killed me.
We show up at more meetings. We need to be at every school board meeting. We need to be at every city council meeting. Why? Because number one, conservatives are there and they're using that show of force to make sure that they get their agenda done. But that's not what Anna Kasparian wants from us. She wants us to play nice with people who she can't even admit are fascists.
This is a small group of activists who like to bully, who like to go to city council meetings, who like to go to various rallies and essentially be loud, be threatening, be aggressive until they get their way. And for far too long, the Democratic Party has been terrified of these little mobs of people, these little mobs of activists, and have basically just carried out what these activists want. And I just think that they need to be a little smarter than.
I could disagree with that. Like people been like Cold Pink been in these hearings in Capitol Hill, interrupting, and genocide still going on. There've been protests in Gaza protests in the streets, protesting, against genocide for over a year now. So yeah, they're not carrying on with our demands. You had to say that. I don't know what she's talking about.
Falling prey to the whims of various activist groups because they are not representative of the majority of Americans.
They are not representative of the majority of Americans. So what does that mean, Anna? Does that mean that we who are not in the majority, we who are in the minority, we must succumb to the whims of the majority, the tyranny of the majority? What does that mean? Because the masses believe something, the masses believe that climate change is a hoax. Should we succumb to the whim of the masses that believe that climate change is a hoax? The masses in the United States of America thought that the economy was doing bad before Donald Trump got reelected. As soon as Donald Trump got reelected and has not even been inaugurated yet, all of a sudden they think the economy is doing great. Should we succumb to the whims of the majority? Is the majority always right? No, that's number one. But number two, I guarantee you that there are more Americans who agree with us than agree with you, than agree with MAGA. And the problem is that we have suffered over the last 4 years underneath a regime, a media regime that has relentlessly manufactured consent. What do I mean? Everywhere you turn, the algorithm is bringing you a right winger. Everywhere you turn, your next video up on YouTube is someone from the conservative movement. Everywhere you turn, on Fox News is on in your gym. Fox News is on at the bar. Fox News is on at the military.
Yeah, Fox News is on at the gym, though. Yeah.
Military base. Everywhere we have turned in this country for the last 4 years, we have been inundated with right-wing propaganda. And so, of course, it looks like the majority is going with the right-wing agenda. But even if the majority goes that way, we need progressive media that will hold the line and not say if we can't beat them, join them. Now, I need to pause.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end it there. He continues. I might watch the rest of this myself. Benjamin Dixon, he's a very interesting guy. He's a good articulator. He good at breaking down stuff. But the final thoughts of that video is the reason why I left TYT. Start watching them, not left. Hell, TYT don't know who the fuck I am. The reason why I stopped watching TYT 4 years ago is because I seen the shift, man. Like I see the shift of them just sheep herding people back to the Democratic Party. Now, a lot of people now saying that they turn right wing. Now, I still don't have any hard evidence of that. I can kind of, like those clips he showed in the beginning and in between the videos, I can kind of see that. But I want to see what Anna said. Hey, I agree with some right wing policy. Like, you gotta tell me, like same with Jimmy Dore. Like a lot of people say Jimmy Dore is right wing. I don't know. That's their opinion. I let them say their opinion. I'm not gonna argue with them on that. But people see things. Like I don't agree with everything Jimmy Dore says, obviously, right? But like right wing, like a Dave Rubin, he shifted to the right. See, that's different. So yeah, I got one more story real quick. I just saw this before I'm about to log off. Hold on a second, guys. Alright, guys, before I get to this story about the government shutdown, be sure to like the video, because some of y'all are liking it more on YouTube. I see that, which is good. The more you like it, the more our videos get pushed out in the algorithm. So, and also too, I don't say this enough, I appreciate all you guys watching us, man. We had a few bumpy roads, but every new project has its upsides and downsides, but we still here, man. Hopefully 2025 we're gonna be here for a long time. I'm not planning to leave or nothing like that. So yeah, okay, so this is about the government shutdown. Now they say that apparently Trump crazy. Trump isn't even sworn in yet, and this guy got power. Like, wow. Backs a new GOP plan to fund the government and lift the debt limit. It says President-elect Donald Trump announced success with a new plan to fund the government and lift the debt ceiling a day before the government shutdown. He praised Speaker Mike Johnson and House Republicans for coming to a very good deal, urging Congress to swiftly pass it as soon as Thursday evening, which is today. It says the new plan will keep the government running for 3 more months, including for disaster assistance for hurricane states and others, and allow for more borrowing through January 30th, 2027. It says Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries called the plan laughable and not a serious proposal. And it says, when could the government shut down? Trump urged lawmakers to pass a new bill as early as Thursday night. The deadline to keep the government open is December the 20th. Let me see. This is the bill they're talking about. House Republicans have released a slimmed down 116-page bill to keep the government running and provide disaster relief that will be voted on later Thursday. It continues to fund federal agencies through March 14th and also keep the $100 billion in disaster aid for victims of Hurricane Helene and Milton and other natural disasters. That's crazy. Like, people are still struggling in those hard hit areas and wow. Oh boy. It also maintains $10 billion in economic assistance for row crop farmers struggling with high input costs and low commodity prices. It adds one more important vision Trump said he needs. It suspends the nation debt limit from January 1st of next year to January 30th of 2027. but it removed some of the proposals that drew intense scrutiny after the original package was released. Most notably, the first pay raise for lawmakers is 2009. That's crazy. Like, you know, these motherfuckers make our lives hard. Well, the corporations that fund them make our life hard, but y'all get what I'm saying. And they want a pay raise. People that work their asses off at these jobs every day, these high labor intensive jobs, ask for a raise and they strike, and you know, all of a sudden they the enemy. But okay, all right, guys, that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm trying to go a little bit longer. You know, the longer you go, the more views you generate for some reason. And before I head out the door, I got a couple of shameless plugs. Support Trina, our comrade. Her Cash App is KBrandstein4. She's trying to get a place to stay, her and her kids. So yeah, help her any way you can and help out Tire Peasant, the co-founder of the ATP Network. Her Cash App is Liz4285. And also too, well, you just like the video on your way out. It helps a lot. Yeah, so all right, guys, that's it of the Good Faith Show. Oh yeah, by the way, if I forgot to mention this, next week I will not be doing any live streams because I need a mental break. I've been working on this network for, man, I've been working nonstop, man. I need a break, you know. Hopefully next year the other people of the ATP network will step up, you know, and help out a brother. You know, I just don't want this to be only Andre. You know, it ain't right to do that. Now, if it would just meet my name on it, just Andre, you know, Andre Network or whatever, then yeah. But you know, I want more voices, man. A couple other people, they got good insights on stuff. And also too, Smurf, he's going through a hard time right now. I'm not gonna get into the details about it. So, one-on-one with Smurf is in limbo right now, but hopefully he'll make amends and we'll come back and you know, speak truth to power. So, all right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Andre Morton signing out. Have a good